I'm going to take you through each step of my makeup routine so that you can achieve your own beginner-friendly makeup look. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. My name is Jaila, also known as JaiChanellie on the internet, so that is where you can find and follow me. I got a very special request in my Instagram DMs to do a beginner-friendly makeup tutorial. So that is exactly what I'm coming to do today. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so you can know anytime I'm posting a new video. Let's get right into it. For starters, I always like to prime my face, and priming your face is basically like priming a wall before you paint over it. You're just trying to create a nice smooth base or canvas for your foundation or for your paint to lay over, right? So I'm just gonna take some primer and rub that all over my face. Just like that, and now we're ready for foundation. So for foundation, we're gonna get a little fancy, and I'm actually going to mix two different foundations. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation and the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Hydrating Longwear Foundation. I like to mix these two foundations for two reasons. I like to mix for the color and for the actual finish on my face. So the colors that I'm mixing are 360 and 385, which gives me my perfect match. And the finishes are, we have one that is matte, don't want to be too dry. You have another one that is hydrating, don't want too much movement around my face. So I like to mix them to get that perfect medium. And I'm just mixing this on the back of my hand using my finger. What I'm going to do is apply this foundation with my finger to the parts of my face that need the most coverage. So as you can see, I do have some hyperpigmentation and some dark marks on my cheeks, so that is where I actually like to put my foundation. I'm going to take this Mented Beauty complexion sponge in order to blend out my foundation. I personally like using a sponge to blend out foundation because it just diffuses better, it blends a lot better, and it blends a lot faster. If you are someone who is looking for full coverage, so basically you don't want to see any blemishes, you should use a brush, because sponges do soak up a little bit of product, as you can see. Brushes will not do that, okay? And you might be wondering, how do I know which foundation is right for me? Well, the biggest things for foundation are the shade and the coverage. So of course, you gotta find a foundation that carries your correct match. I highly recommend starting with Fenty. I will also consult Maybelline Fit Me for a drugstore alternative. You also need to know what coverage you're looking for. So you have foundations that are light coverage, like a BB cream, which basically means that it's going to give you a very sheer color. It's not going to cover up any blemishes you have on your face. You also have medium foundations, which will cover a little bit, but it will also leave your skin peeking through, which means that it also leaves blemishes peeking through. You also have what we call medium buildable foundations, which means that originally they're medium, but you can actually add more and more product to build it up to full coverage. A full coverage foundation is basically one that does not show any blemish, okay? I would say the Fenty foundations are medium buildable. Now that foundation created a nice blank canvas for us to create whatever we want to create. Moving right along to concealer. So the primary purpose of concealer is to hide any of your dark marks or your blemishes in a more concentrated formula than your foundation. Today I'm using the Fenty Beauty concealer, and this is in the shade 360. And I'm going to apply this right underneath my eyes to kind of hide those bags and those lines that I know you can see. Okay, and I'm also going to use this for the purpose of highlighting my face. So basically, if you were to sit in front of a window, where the sun would hit you is where you kind of apply your concealer, so that you're just creating those natural highs in your face. Typically, your concealer is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation, and that's just to make sure that you do get that illuminating effect, you get that brightening effect. I'm going to actually blend this out with an e.l.f. concealer brush. Remember I said earlier, if you want more coverage, use a brush. I want the coverage when I'm working with concealer, so I'm going to blend this out using a brush. Make sure your edges are nice and blended. You don't want any harsh lines between your foundation and your concealer. And now we're ready to move to the next step. Next step for me is setting my concealer with setting powder. I like to do this so that my concealer doesn't move all around my face throughout the day. I'm going to use this Mented cosmetic setting powder in the color light to tan. You basically just have to find a color that is not too light because you don't want to be looking ghostly, but you don't want a color that's too dark because then it will take away from the brightness that you just gave yourself underneath your eyes. I'm taking my complexion sponge once again. I basically dipped it into the powder and I'm taking off the excess into my palm because you don't want to put so much powder on your face that you're looking dry. Like, no. And I'm going to press it right into my concealer. Also taking it on the top of my eyelids. Basically everywhere that you put concealer, you're gonna set. As you can see, there's a definite difference between this side, which we have not set, and this side, which we have set. So if you're gonna be out all day, you wanna set your face so that you don't get like too shiny and your product doesn't start moving. So next we're gonna go into our bronzer. Now we use bronzer to warm up our face. Your bronzer should be a color that is slightly deeper than you, but also warmer than you. So make sure you're looking for like those reddish undertones. This one is by Fenty. It's called Bajan Gyal. I'm gonna take this $1 brush from Wet n Wild, and I believe that this is a contour brush, whatever. I use it for my bronzer. What I'm going to do is apply bronzer basically from my cheek all the way around my hairline down to my other cheek and also on my jawline. Basically the outline of your face you're going to warm up, making it look nice and toasty like you've been in the sun all day. So this is what my face looks like when it's bronzed versus when it's not bronzed. Hopefully you can see that difference. We look a lot more warm on this side. Now, true beginners, you may not want to reach for a whole bunch of different products, especially eyeshadow. So what I like to do is use my bronzer as an eyeshadow. I take the exact same brush, dip it into my bronzer, and I literally take the very edge of my brush and I just stick it into my eye socket like this, basically applying that bronzer in the crease. And we're just doing this to give some warmth and depth to our eyes without having to do a whole eyeshadow look. I'm using this Mented cosmetic blush and it is called Peach for the Stars. It is this nice peach shimmer blush which doubles as a highlighter and as a blush. I absolutely love it. It's perfect for every day. And I'm going to take a fluffy brush. I'm going to take it, I'm going to dip a couple of times into my blush and I'm going to apply my blush from the apples of my cheek all the way back into my bronzer. So the goal when you're applying blush is to make it blend in with your bronzer. You're going to do the exact same thing with your highlighter. So your blush, your bronzer, and your highlighter should be one unit. At one point in time, I did not wear blush. I hated blush, but we don't grow it up. I like to apply a little blush to the tip of my nose. Honestly, I just saw other people doing it and I tried to do it myself. Remember I said we're finding multi-use for our products? We're going to do the exact same thing with our blush. I'm going to apply the blush to the lids of my eyes, and just like that, you never have to actually dip into an eyeshadow palette. You just use the other products that are on your face, and that's how you make sure that everything ties together as well. So the next product that I'm going to apply is highlighter, which is going to give us that nice beautiful glow that we know and love. But before I like to apply my highlighter, I like to spray my face with setting spray. Setting spray locks everything into place. I like to spray my setting spray, and right before it dries, I like to apply the highlighter. Therefore, the highlighter will dry down into my face and it won't sit on top of my face. It will literally look like I'm glowing from within. Very affordable, and I really like the spray. I'm gonna reach for my highlighter brush, which is also from e.l.f. I'm using this Fenty Beauty highlighter, and this is in the color Trophy Wife. You know her. I'm gonna go into Trophy Wife just a little bit because she's powerful, okay? And right before my skin dries completely, I'm going to apply Trophy Wife. As you can see, I'm taking the tip of the brush and I'm placing it on the apples of my cheeks. I'm brushing backwards, right on my cheekbone. Also like to do the tip of my nose and a little bit down the bridge of my nose as well. Last but certainly not least, I like to put inner corner highlight in my eyes just to open my eyes up, and it's also going to give us that pop of color. We are almost done, y'all. Next thing I'm going to do is my eyebrows. So eyebrows, as you very well know, give a nice framing to the face. So we just like to fill them in to make sure that they don't get lost in the midst of all of our other makeup products. I'm currently using the Mented Cosmetics pencil in the shade Brow Down. Went in with the spoolie and just brushed my natural brow hairs upward. That way I can see any sparse areas I have in my brow, and that is what I'm going to fill in with the pencil. I'm going to start here and kind of give myself a definite into my brow, and then I'm going to start blending my natural brow hairs into that. I'm going to go on the top of my brow and also basically outline it, and then I'm going to fill in the sparse areas in between. I go in with the spoolie one more time to blend out any of those harsh lines and to put my brows back in place. And as you can see, this brow just looks a little bit cleaner, but it still looks very natural. Now, it's my personal belief that ain't nothing friendly about applying lashes. So today we will not be applying any lashes. We will be going in with a couple of coats of mascara to make our eyelashes look long and voluminous and voluptuous, okay? I'm using this Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. Use whatever you have, y'all. I'm not very discriminatory when it comes to mascara, to be quite honest with you. You just want to make sure you go in with a couple of coats. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably got mascara all over the place. So I'm going to take my bronzer slash eyeshadow, and I'm going to take a brush and just go right underneath my eye with that bronzer. And what I'm really doing is just knocking away all the crusty, dusty mascara that is down there. Last thing we have to complete is the lips. I'm going to go in with a lip liner because lip liners just make sure you don't look too crazy. It's really good to have a good brown lip liner, especially if you're a black girl. This is by NYX Suede, and this is in the color Cold Brew. I want to keep the lips simple today, so I'm going to take a little bit, just a little bit of this Fenty lipstick, and this is in the color Thick. Literally just going to apply that much. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to top it off with the Fenty gloss, and this is in the color Fussy. And there you have it, y'all. A nice beginner-friendly makeup look. It doesn't take too long to complete a full face, and we literally have everything with the exception of lashes, y'all. Tell me what you think about this look in the comment section below. Thank you so much to Malachia for requesting this video. I hope that this helped you, girl. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit that subscribe button. Also like this video so that YouTube can share with other people. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.